Sean here. So today we're going to discuss things that you can do right now in this moment to get you prepared with a plan, an initial plan, right, to building your wealth. So the first thing I will say that you need to do is have a goal. If you don't have a goal, then you need to spend some time deciding on what it is that you want to do, right? The second thing that you want to do is you want to calculate your monthly expenses, and then you also want to calculate how much money you're bringing in after you calculate your monthly expenses. And we'll talk about that more in another video, but do that. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to make a plan on how you can make more money, whether you're getting a side job or you're going to work overtime or DoorDash, whatever you need to do. Money is money, baby. Okay? And then the next thing you want to do, once you decide that, once you calculated everything up, you know what you got in your bank account, you need to do some research. Where do you want to put your money, right? If you're just using a bank, then you want to have your savings account or your money's in a high yielding savings account, right? If you're ready to do something different and you want to have this continuous, a little bit higher percentage of money back, because look, we'll discuss that a little bit more. This video will get too long. Okay, look, you can do the ETFs if you want to with dividends, and that will give you a little bit more than a high yielding savings account. So do some research, know where you want to put your monies at, but like I said in another video, I'll be discussing these points separately. And then the last thing you want to do is just educate yourself. You got to start educating yourself on what people are doing. And mainly you want to do education on what rich people are doing. People that you look at and you see and you say to yourself, like, that's the life I want. What are they doing? So get yourself educated on that, because the one thing I'll tell you guys is that if you're feeling like you can't progress because you're black or color, or you just feel like you're a man or you're a black man, or whatever the case is, guys, look at here. Money, riches don't have a race, okay? It all boils down to, what do you know? What can you do for yourself? Now, what I will say for many people in general, without color, many people in general, it's just that we have not been educated. We don't know where to put money or how to use this or to do this or to do that. So there was a number that I had heard recently, and I'll also break this down too, because I have to get the exact numbers for you guys, because I want to make sure I'm telling you right. But I recently learned that I think it's like 85-95% of like either the world or the US is living paycheck to paycheck. And it was a bit mind-boggling for me, for sure, because I don't know, you know, like I was just like, really? Like that high of a number? It just, to me, didn't seem like that was a real number. Like maybe if they would have said like 50% of, you know, the people, but like the number was high. So in another video, I'll also break that down too as well. I'll come back with the facts, okay? And so I'm gonna leave it here with that, but I'm gonna break each one up in a separate video for you guys, and we're gonna get these steps going, because like I said, guys, we're on a journey together. I'm on a journey for myself, and then on that video where we discuss goals, I'm gonna break mine down for you guys too. Come along on this journey. I mean, y'all can do the same steps I'm doing. If it works for you guys, I hope you make it just like I make it, okay? Because that's what I'm here for. Hey, y'all. Hey. Sean here. Okay, so this video, we're going to be discussing goals, guys. Do you know what your goal is? Do you have so many goals? And you need to narrow your goals down, right? So what I would say is, if you have a financial goal, say it's a really big goal and you're not really sure how to get there, see how you can break that down to a smaller goal. So I'm going to give you an example. Maybe you're somebody who wants to save like 20K for in a 12-month span, right? But you said, I just don't really know how I can do that because I really don't make enough to do that. So set a goal for yourself that's a little bit more realistic. Maybe 10,000 in 12 months is a more realistic goal, right? So once you decide what your goal is, and maybe your goal isn't even to save that kind of money. Maybe your goal is to just save, right? So whatever your goal is, figure out what your goal is. Spend some time with that. And then you can see devising a plan in the end, right, is how you're going to be able to do that. Is first knowing what your goal is. All right, so in this video, guys, we're going to discuss calculating your expenses. What's calculating your expenses? Well, how much money are you spending out every month? How much money are you making every month, right? So what you want to do is you want to check to see, well, first of all, just write out a list. Let's start with that. What I did was an Excel spreadsheet. So you want to put out all your regular bills, you know, your car note, your rent, telephone bill, blah, 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 blah. Put it all down. Put it down on the end, like how much you're paying out on each of those bills for that month. You also want to put in all your subscriptions. If you are not aware of all the subscriptions that you are feeding into, then you probably should find that app. I keep hearing about it, where it allows you to see how many subscriptions that you're currently signed up to, because that will help you to know where some funds are going that you may not be aware of. I haven't done it. I thought about doing it, but I do actually watch my accounts enough to know if I was paying somebody out that I didn't recognize. So that's another story for another time, but I do pay attention to my accounts. So make sure you're doing that. So when you're doing your spreadsheet, you also want to factor in things such as takeout. What are you doing for your recreation? How much you're spending on that? Your groceries, your gas. If you have children, maybe daycare, you know, whatever those expenses are that you need to include in there, because it's not like it's something that's going to go away. And then it's something useful for your plan, but it's in the next video. We'll discuss that too. All right, so once you figure all that out, then you've established a good base for yourself to know where you are financially, okay? So I'll tell you about me. So this is probably about 14, 15 years ago. What I had decided to do was I did the spreadsheet, right? I put down all the bills that I was paying. And did I have any? Well, I kind of did this with all of my bills. So I heard this thing back then that if you paid half of your payment, that you reduce the amount of interest that you had if you paid it like every 2 weeks. So I took all of my bills, including rent, like everything. I just paid everything every 2 weeks. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if it took off any interest or not. It just ended up being how it worked for me. What I will tell you though is that my credit score shot up like nobody's business. I mean, it was high. Like, I was like, dang, girl, look at you. I was like early 20s and with a super high credit score. So I would say maybe for those purposes, for sure, it helped with my credit score. I don't know about the interest part. But I had gotten to a good routine of paying everything off, or making a payment every 2 weeks. So you can try paying that every 2 weeks for yourself. I mean, maybe you're having a low credit score. You can get your credit up, right? Let's see, what else is on the list here? We talked about how much money you make, right? Yeah, because after all of adding everything up, it'll let you know how much you got left in that month. Not necessarily to play with, but maybe to save with, you know? All right. So I told you what I did. And then what I would do was I also updated my Excel spreadsheet like every 3 or 4 months. Are they still using Excel? I don't know. I would imagine so, because I believe I have spreadsheet on my phone. So yes, spreadsheet. It's on your phone, guys. It's on your phone. Go ahead and use that. Do Google Docs. Use it, baby. It's there for a reason. Okay. And so now you know where you are at the end of the month. Now you have something that I say can begin your plan. So you've already figured out what your goal is. You've already calculated your expenses. And now is the time for you to devise a plan, right? So I'm going to give you an example. Say like your goal is to save $10,000 by the end of the month. You've went through the first 2 steps already, and then you realize, okay, well, I got $500 a month by the end of each month, right? So then what you want to do then is that you calculate that, you know, it's only going to be $6,000 by the end of the year. And you say, okay, well, where am I going to get the rest of these $4,000 from to reach my goal by the end of the year? So there's things that you can do. You can DoorDash, you can Uber, you can deliver for Amazon. Those are just a few examples. You can get yourself a second job, because that's what I did. I already have a second job. I've been working a second job for like 2 years now. But yeah, we'll discuss me in a second. So those are some of the things that you can do to, you know, get your money up. So when you were back and you were going through your expenses, did you see a few things on there that you probably didn't need? Like, you realize you do go out to eat like 3 times a week, and you probably don't need to go out 3 times a week. You know, like you don't need to go out 3 times a week. Maybe you get your hair done. Guys, haircuts are expensive. Oh my gosh, haircuts are so expensive these days. Guys, maybe you learn how to cut your own hair. Maybe you grow it out. Oh no, that may not be a good idea, because then you have to get your hair done. Do you know how to braid your own hair? I don't know. Lock it up. I don't know, but that's still another expense. Look, I'll let you guys figure that out, okay? All right. Women, you're going to have to learn how to do your own hair. I've been doing my own hair for a long time, guys. I'm going to give you a little backstory about me doing my hair for a long time. So, I'm from Detroit, but I live in Dallas now, and I've been here for a long time. But like the first 2 years of living here, guys, I'm not even going to lie. I'm not going to kid you. I used to fly back to Detroit every other month, every 2 months to go get my hair done, because I did not find anyone out here to do my hair. And it was like, back then it was super early, y'all, into YouTube. When I came to Dallas, I didn't even know that YouTube existed, okay? And so I learned how to do my hair eventually. I learned how to do my own hair off of watching YouTube videos. And that was of course, a big expense that I did not need to, you know, factor into my monthly expenses, because you think about it. Well, I had people to stay with. All my family is there, so it wasn't a matter of having somewhere to stay. But I will always have to rent a car, you know, buy food while I'm there, get my hair done, pay for a flight. I will have to pay to get to and from the airport from Dallas. So that was a big expense just to go and get my hair done. And so that was an expense that I cut out because I started on YouTube University here and learned how to do my own hair, because I had my hair done at the shop since I was 6 years old. So I didn't really know how to do my hair without tearing my hair up, which when you left me alone to do my own hair was exactly what I was doing, tearing my hair up. So yeah, that's one expense. I'm sorry I was on a tangent, but I'm just giving you an example of what I did and what I took out of an expense that was unnecessary, right? So what I'm gonna be doing for myself, I do encourage you guys to like seriously go through like what you're doing in the month and figure out what you can cut back on, because when you're reaching these financial goals, which I'm gonna get to more in more videos that are coming of you building this wealth, but building it faster than you think you're gonna build it, if you decide to go the way that I'm going. Okay, so I'll tell you about my plan for myself. So I already have a decent amount of money saved up, right? But what I realized, and as I spoke about in the video before, that, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say like the banks are misleading when they try to tell you what to do, but they don't, I would say they don't tell you in your favor of what to do, right? With your money. So what I'm going to be doing for myself, I need to do a whole restructuring of where my funds are going to be at right now, because it's that important right now. So one of the first things I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to start investing in the EFTs, and I'm going to do the EFTs that have dividends on it, right? And so I'm going to also do what is called dripping. And basically what that means is the dividends that you receive every month, I'm going to have it automatically go back into the account to give me more. It's not necessarily a share. I hate to say the word share because it's not a share. Like, you don't own anything because it's the top 500 companies. And so you're owning, or you have a fraction. You see how you can't see the space in there? A fraction of a share in these companies. So I'm gonna start with that, and keep adding on to those, constantly purchasing, you know, more and more fractions to build it up, because that's a long-term thing, right? I mean, you can, once you learn things about trading, you can trade them. From what I understand, most people don't trade them, and if they do, it's only just, you know, a few times a year, 2, 3, 4 times a year. It's not like a regular thing, because the way that they work is that you have your top 500 companies. Say something happens with a company, then they'll replace that company that's fallen to the bottom somewhere, that's no longer in the top 500, and put whoever is next, you know, in that spot. So it's not like you guys have to worry about, oh my God, American Airlines crashed or something like that, and I need to go and sell my fraction off. No, you don't have to do that. It's already taken care of. So that's one thing you don't have to worry about, which is great, because you don't want to have to worry about it, right? The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a certain amount of money into a high yielding savings account. And please don't get fooled, guys, because you can keep your money in a regular savings account. You're not making any dividends off of that. You're not making no money off of that. I was telling a friend of mine how for years, I was just dumping money into my savings, dumping, and then I would get excited at the end of the year because I'm like, oh, it's tax time, and let me see what I got, and it'd be nothing. It'll really literally be nothing. Not like nothing like zero, but like nothing, right? And so I was like, okay, I really don't understand savings accounts. But when you talk to the bankers, they're not telling you to go put it in a high yielding savings account. So if you do the ETFs, the EFTs, I'd be messing that up. ETFs, if you do those, then you get about, from what I understand, is about 8 to like 11% on those, right? And I'm gonna let you do the calculation because I haven't done no calculations right now. I mean, I know how it works, but do the calculation on that. And later on, give me time, I will put up, videos about how to calculate the percentages and stuff like that. I promise, I got y'all. And with a high yielding savings account, you get anywhere between 4 and 5%. What I'm understanding though is that a lot of places are maxing out between like 4.3 and a little less than 5%. However, either way it goes, you put, say, like $10,000 in and you got 4%. Well, that's gonna be like at the end of the year, I believe it's somewhere like $400. Who don't want $400? Okay, at your $10,000, but that, I mean, it has to be 10,000 consecutive for that 12 months. It's not going to be, oh, I made it to 10,000 and it's the 12th month and you got $400. No, it's a percentage of whatever is in there at that time. But say you started with 10,000 and you left 10,000 in there for the whole 12 months. $400 is what you're going to get at the end of the year, and then you're dividing that by 12. That's going to be a little bit less than $40 a month that you get on that. But the more money you put in, the more money you're going to have as far as your from your dividends each month. Now, do I suggest you take that money out and spend it? Absolutely not. Let that money roll and stay in that account so that it will keep growing as your account grows and continue to yield you these dividends, right? Just the same way that I would do the the ETFs, right? I'm going to let that drip right back into the account so I can continue to get more fractions of shares to keep it growing. Because what I will tell you is that I would prefer you to put it in the ETF more so than I would prefer you to keep it in your savings account, just because the percentage is higher on the side. So you're getting a bigger return back on your money. Now, the things I will say far as the ETFs go, now you're talking about stocks now. It's going to cost you a bit more money to invest in them. But if you had $10,000 to invest in them and get that $10,000 worth, you're already making money right off the rip. But I'll tell you this, if you can't, because some of them are like $300, $500 or more dollars to get just that one little bit of a fraction, right? But you're already making, dividends on that. And then if you got $500, like we discussed, at the end of the month, put it towards another fraction or put it in the high yielding savings account. But you still want to have something to help you go along with putting more money in. And that's like, if you're going to Uber, if you're going to, get a second job, whatever the case is, you want to have another stream of income coming in to continue to add on to this, right? The one thing I would say to you guys is that you really, 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 really got to have 10 toes down on this. And the reason why I say that you got to have 10 toes down on this, because if you're someone who hasn't seen money grow in your account, when you see that money grow in your account, you might want to spend it. But the money is not there for you to spend it. That money is for you to have leverage to keep growing what you already have, okay? Don't don't feel like you got to go in there and spend some money because it exists, okay? You want to treat that like, I don't know, the most precious thing you own in life, and you don't want to touch it, okay? You don't want nobody touching it. You don't want to touch it. If you breathe on it too hard, it might fall and break, okay? That's what I'm trying to say to you. It's precious. Treat it like so. So for all you Jordan people who like to stand in a line to give Michael Jordan more money and Nike more money, what I'm trying to say is that y'all probably should not be standing in that line for a while, okay? For me, like, I'll give you the breakdown. I had plenty of money. I was in my 20s when I started saving money. I'll break you down a real story one day. But even then, I was not that interested in people knowing what I was wearing, right? So for me, I didn't have to have that stuff. But then it was the crowd that I got into. And it was just like, oh, maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll buy that. And I know, like, I was saving a lot at that time. Now, I say that at that time, the cost of living has gone up, right? So in today's day, it would probably still be comparable, right? However, there were things I wanted. Like the one thing I wanted was a BMW. And it only took me like 3 months to save up the money, and I went and bought it. And so that's what I did. But then it was like, oh wait, Sean, your clothes, your purses, all of these things didn't match, you know? And not that my stuff didn't look good. It was just that, you know, everybody wants to walk around with Louis, the Louboutin shoes, red bottoms. I just really wasn't into it. But after a while, I found myself like, I was like, okay, I'll buy some of this stuff. Y'all, when I tell you, I got a stupid amount of Michael Kors purses in my closet that I never wear. A ton. I started buying the shoes. I started buying the outfits. I was buying Michael Kors purses for my family. Watches for my family. Just because I have the money. So what I'm saying to you guys, all of that to say, the spending spree is over. We are building wealth. So if you can allow yourself 12 months to not go out there and spend that money, to hold that precious little thing in its precious little place for 12 months. I'm not saying splurge, like splurge, but treat yourself after 12 months. You know, not like $1,000 treat yourself, but like maybe $100 treat yourself to something you want. If you need to splurge each month, don't let it be $100, baby, because if $500 is all you got to save, I'm just saying, instead of going to the movies, make movie night at your house. Netflix and chill. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Maybe you wait a couple weeks for that movie to go from the theater to Disney, to Netflix, to Hulu, to whoever, okay? Whoever you got, okay? All right, so enough of that. Let me check my notes here and see if I have told you guys. Oh, I didn't finish telling you about, oh, geez. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Okay, all right, I'm back. So I didn't finish telling you guys about my plan. So right now, I have my full-time job. And I have been working on Saturdays for 6 hours, right? Every Saturday for like 2 months. 2 years. And what I was doing with that money for every Saturday, I go on vacation a lot. So I was using those 6 hours every week to pay for my trips. There was a couple of trips that I ended up having to take out of my regular, you know, uh, checks because they toppled well over $2,000. So I ended up having to spend money on those. But that's what I've been doing. I'm getting ready to pick up another job, a third job, right? So combined, I'll have about 20 hours that I'm gonna be working extra a week. So it's gonna put me somewhere around 60 hours a week. And with those extra 20 hours a week, now think about it, 20, 40, 60, 80, that's one whole check, right? So since I'll be working what is called PRN in the medical field, it's called PRN. Since I'll be working PRN, I'll be making more money than I'm making at my full-time job in those in that one check for that. So you're comparing checks is what I'm trying to say. So one check that I make in 2 weeks, in the 4 weeks of working those extra 20 hours each week, I'll make more money than that one check in those 2 weeks. And the reason why is because you get paid $3 to $5 more because they're not paying us any benefits. I know what you're asking. I know what you're about to say. Well, why aren't you doing that full time then? Quit the full-time job. No, I can't do that. And the reason why I cannot do that, now, for some people, it might be okay to do that. But for my plan, for me to execute a good plan, I cannot do that, right? Because I have to have the guaranteed 40 hours a week, right? My extra 20 hours is not guaranteed. They call it PRN because it's as per needed. So if they decide that they don't need me that week or that day, I don't have funds for that day. So that's why I cannot do it full time. However, as of right now, that's going to be my plan. That extra money that I was using for vacations, baby, don't let me lie to you. Because I normally would take a trip every month, sometimes twice in 1 month. I have done it several times this year. In 2024, I have done it. I shall not be doing it. But what I will say is that I'm not going to say that I'm not going to take a trip, because I will still probably take some trips, right? So snowboarding is what I wanted to do, which was my next trip that actually is going on right now. As of December 15th, I think it started, out in Colorado, and I didn't get to go because I'm building wealth here. So there's another one coming. I'm not making that one with my friends. I would love to go, but I'm not going to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Detroit, because we have a small resort in Brighton, Michigan, and I'm going to go there, and I'm going to go snowboarding, because I have a place to stay and a car to ride in. All I have to do is pay for a flight and my lift ticket. That's going to be the cheapest way for me to go snowboarding this season. And so for me, because I'm going to be starting with a little bit more money than most people, right? In this whole wealth building thing. So I guess I should say that to you. It's not like a catch, but I'm building to $1 million, and you would typically, now, baby, I done seen some stories. You can do it. Even without the money, starting from right now, you can still make the $1 million in a year. I'm just starting with a little bit more than most people are going to be starting with. So I'm going to take some trips, because these are trips that I have been doing for years. I'm not going to stop doing them because I'm building wealth. However, most people will tell you to absolutely stop taking those trips, guys. So I don't know how many trips I'm going to take. I just know that there's at least 3 of them that will be had. I will make them the cheapest trips I possibly can. I have people I can stay with. I can use their vehicles on these trips. So it's going to be more so of a matter of getting there. which will be my expense in paying for food. So I have already narrowed down a way to make them cheaper. Instead of me getting the Airbnb or a hotel or whatever, I've already narrowed down a way to make that cheaper. So if you do have some obligations that, you know, is obligating, then just look for the best way for you to break that down to spend the least amount of money, okay? All right, so I think that I have talked you guys' heads off about what I'm gonna do, about what you can do, because it's time to execute a plan, y'all. It's time to execute a plan, y'all. It's time. All right, so we'll talk a little bit more about this plan in the next video. This next video is going to be like the gravy to the meat, or is it the meat to the gravy? I think it's the gravy to the meat. All right, so we talked about your goals. What are your goals? You know what your goals are already if you made it to this video. Okay, then we talked about calculating your expenses. You know what you are spending. Okay, we talked about devising a plan. How you gonna get to that goal? We talked about it. All right, so now the gravy to the meat. Research, right? Research, educate yourself, okay? And the reason why I say that is because I've mentioned before, guys, wealth does not have a race. It does not have a skin color. It does not have morals or ethics or blah, 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 blah. Wealth comes from education, baby, and from educating yourself, right? So, I think I forgot to put this one thing, which is an important thing. And I'm just, let me see. Where would that one thing have gone in? Which category would that one thing have gone in? Maybe devising a plan. So the last video I would say is in your plan, guys. This is so serious, okay? I know I joke about a lot of things, but this is serious. Who is in your corner? That's a big thing, right? Who do you have around you? Do you have people that's building you up? People in your corner building you up? People that see that you got goals and you want to go here and you want to do that? Are they helping you do this? Or are they like holding on to your foot as you rise up in the air? You know, like Mary Poppins. You know how she did with the umbrella? Mary Poppins, are they trying to hold you down? Or are they helping you get to your goal? Do you have people in your corner that have negative talk? Do you have people in your corner that don't believe that these things exist for themselves, so it cannot exist for you? How many people do you have in your corner that is helping you build what you need to build? Or do they come out of the corner like this? Are they asking? Are they in your pockets? I remember there was a time some years ago that everybody was calling me all the time for money. I won't say who these people are. It doesn't matter. None of that stuff is important. But I just realized that I'm always giving money to people. I don't care if it was $10, $20, $100. And it was one time where, and this was years ago, I was still in college, but I was working. I was still working. And I came up short. Yeah. So I have 3 degrees, but I was in my last degree and I was still working, and I owned a home by then. I was like 21, 22 years old, 23, something like that. And I had a car and a child. And it was just like, I didn't come up short paying my bills. I always paid my bills, but I would help people with what I had left over. And I always had this saying, if I couldn't afford to lose it, nobody was going to get it from me. I don't lend out money I can't afford to lose, because you cannot always count on people to return back to you what you have given them. Even if they said they would, you cannot. You cannot. Even if they're the most trustworthy, they can fall sick the next day and then they need that because they can't go to work. You know what I'm saying? So, tip. Don't lend out anything you can afford to lose, okay? And so I realized that none of those people that were doing this were pouring back into my hands anything when it was time for me to ask. And I had to just wait 2 more weeks, you know. So be careful of those kind of people in your life, because you want the people that is going somewhere in your life. And I'll tell you, over the years, I've cut out a lot of people, you know, and it may not be because they were asking for anything, because I have very few now, because your no is a whole full sentence, baby, okay? So I have very few people that even come to me these days about anything. But sometimes you got to cut them out of your life. Sometimes you might have to have only just a few friends in your life. And it may suck, you know. For me, I don't mind being by myself. I don't mind not having a whole lot of friends. I mean, that's just me. I enjoy myself. But maybe you get to a point where you enjoy yourself. You love yourself enough to just hang out with you. I don't know. You know, you have to figure that out. But, yes. So thank you for listening to my TED Talk once again. Let's move on. So today's topic is education, right? And you really want to know, like, what are rich people doing, right? And for me and my education, I have learned that many rich people are investing in stock. A lot of rich people do not keep their money in the banks, guys. If you did not know that, which I did know that, but I just did not know where they were putting it. Like, I knew people invested in stock, but I did not know that that was like the big thing to do, right? So I would say from all the years, right, of not doing the proper steps like rich people, I've missed out on millions, right? Because I have made over $1 million, and I have missed out on a lot of money that I could have had today. And so we're going to recoup that back. I ain't going to, baby, look, it happened. I'm not about to sit here and dwell on the past. I know what my future looking like, though. I hope you know what your future looking like, because it's about to go down. So I'm going to give you the education that I'm going to get, right? So the other thing I left out of my plan, y'all, eventually, guys, what I would like to do is day trade, okay? With me working full time, I might have to do something called swing trade, because it does not require me to be at my phone, at my computer, at my tablet, my iPad all day, right? Checking the stock market. So I might do swing trade, but what I really, really, really want to do, and which I have really said to self that I will take out a couple hours out of my work day, because my schedule is very flexible as far as work goes. I can start at 6 o'clock in the morning. I can stop when the market opens at 8:30. It opens up at 8:30 here in Texas. So I can stop at 8:30 and spend 2 hours on there to see if I can make a trade or not make a trade for that day. And then I can go back to work. If I miss something for the day, I miss something for the day, which we'll talk about those things later on, okay? We'll talk more about that when we start discussing more about me trading. So that is my initial end goal, is to day trade doing options. Options, like there's several different ways that you can trade, guys. Options seem to be the most easiest concept for me to catch, and swing trading came right behind that. So I know that a lot of people said the options was not easy for them. For some reason, it was just super easy for me to catch on to options. And so, yeah, that's what I'm thinking about doing, as far as my plan goes. And then I'll just be educating myself a whole lot more on the trading part of it. So in my education and my researching for doing, trading, I have for the past couple of weeks been hitting it hard. And when I say hard, I mean like 8-hour days. Like, hey guys, okay, so I'm back. My camera died, but here we are. I am back, guys. I am back. So where I left off at, I was saying to you guys that I've been putting in 8-hour days studying up about trading, studying up about just investing in general. My lighting is terrible once again. No, that's not what I want you to do. Okay. It's doing something weird, guys. I will learn this camera thing, okay? Sorry. All right, so it's just going to be a little dark in my background for now. Anyways, so what I was trying to say was 8 hours a day I've been like studying, okay? I'm taking notes. I have a book. This book goes everywhere with me. I'm putting notes in it. I'm at work. Anytime. So I'm in a medical field, so I'm not always at my desk. But when I get a chance that I can be at my desk for 5, 10, 20 minutes, I got the earphones on. I'm educating myself. I'm taking notes. So the things I will say, that is part of my education. The other thing is I do believe heavily in, guys, is paying for these courses, okay? I don't have a course. I'm coming to you guys free based on what I learned or what I will be learning from these courses. There'll be like people that I might bring up in one of these videos, and I'm bringing them up because either they said something that worked for me and it may work for you. I might be taking their course. I might be doing their mentorship. I may be one of their Patreons, okay? I believe in spending money to make money, because scared money ain't gonna make you no monies, baby. And the monies are what I'm here for, okay? And I'm here for you to get monies as well. So that's just a sidebar, but just know that, and even if I do quote something that somebody says and I have not already paid to like some part of what they are offering, it's because I like something they said, okay? So that's part of my research, because I believe for myself, because I am inconsistently consistent at being inconsistent, okay? Or I'm consistent at being inconsistent. Wow, the sky has changed. That I know for myself, guys, that I am going to have to pay somebody for the help, because if I could probably go, another month or so thinking I can plan this out myself, but I would rather have someone teach me that already knows and who's already making millions. I've already made contact with one person already. I joined his Patreon, okay? Today, I'm getting ready to purchase a course today by another person, because they both trade, but they are teaching two different things, okay? And so I need the information for both of them, because I'm doing both of those things immediately. And so far as the trading part, guys, I'm going to start with paper trading. There's a app that you can get, or you can just go to the website. It's called Think and Swim, or Think or Swim. I already have it downloaded and I don't remember if it's and or. But Think and Swim, Think or Swim. And it will allow you to paper trade, okay, guys? Because trading is not for the weary, from what I understand. And I also have friends who have done it and who have done poorly, and who said, like, Sean, like, really? I was like, yeah, really. Like, the money is there. I can do this. I am confident enough in myself, guys, that if I put my mind to it enough, we're talking about monies here, okay? And I love monies, and monies love me, okay? I will do it, okay? And so I'm going to start the paper trading this week. This is it's Monday, so I'll start today because the last couple of weeks I've been just getting all the information that I can get. Does that stop? Absolutely not. I will still be collecting information, guys. Just like I told you, I'm getting ready to purchase someone's course today. So that's going to be another means of education for myself. So now I have to study more, right? I'm about to do that. So what I learned, guys, know that I'm going to teach you as well. What I will say from this point on is that because most millionaires, billionaires are investing, I'm growing my wealth the same way that these millionaires and billionaires are building their wealth, or have built their wealth, or are still continuing to hold the wealth. I'm going to go in that direction. So hopefully you guys are into, you know, the trading aspects. When I get really good, guys, I will start showing you my screens in my videos of me trading. But until we get to that point, trust me, guys, I'm gonna have plenty of videos for you, because what I'm learning, you will learn. Okay? And if this is the journey for you, then you can do it. Even you young people out there, okay? There's a girl here on YouTube who's a multimillionaire now. She started at 19. By the time she was 20, she was already a multimillionaire. Started with $26, okay, investing. Kelly Okogie, I believe that's how you say her name. O-K-G-E-E, I think it is. Kelly Okogie. She started, you know, with a very low amount of money. And she's a multimillionaire. It only took her a year. That's what gave me the idea that I can do this, because I'm not starting from zero. I'm starting with money. Does not necessarily mean that I'm going to hit the goal, guys. It does not, me starting with more money, guys, let me throw this out there to y'all, does not mean that I'm going to be great. Doesn't mean that I'm going to get a whole lot more money because I'm starting with more money, okay? It does not mean that at all. And I don't want you guys to believe that this journey is going to be easy, because from watching the videos and from talking to people, they have all told me that this is not going to be easy. Be prepared to lose money, okay? But what I'm trying to do is take you guys through the steps with me, step by step by step, because maybe I can help you lose less money, okay? I'm a student, and you guys can learn from me as I go. Whatever I learn, whatever I purchase, I can help you. Now, if there's some clause in there on these YouTubers, on their courses or their mentorship, where I can't give you the full, then I can't give you the full, okay? But I will do the best I can. I'm doing the YouTube because Wall Street Trapper said that you have to find ways to make more money. I was about to quit my job December 31st. My boss had already known this for 2 months. I was like, I'm effing done. I can't take this ish no more. Y'all don't appreciate me. I am valuable to this company. But then I listened to Wall Street Trapper, and he was like, man, if I had to work 60, 80 hours a week, I'm going to do it. And I was like, God dang it. I got to stay at work. So I'm keeping my full-time job. And not only am I keeping my full-time job, I'm getting a part-time job. I already have one job. I'm going to have 3 jobs. Okay, guys? Because those 2 extra jobs is going to bring me in 1 extra check that I can use those thousands of dollars to put it into the market. Okay? To grow my wealth. Okay? He also said, start a YouTube if you had to. Here we are. How do you help me grow so I can help you grow? I need for you guys to like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification button, share this with other people, okay? Let's go on this journey together, okay? All right, look, that's all I got for y'all for right now. I got more videos to come. All right, till next time. Bye.